What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Sold Out. Before we get into the sneaker, I want you guys to do me a favor. Go hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, holler at me in the comments if you disagree with something, if you agree with something, interact with me. I'm down for whatever you guys want to talk about when it comes to a basketball sneaker. With that being said, here is the Tatum 2 by Jordan brand. I'm going to call it right now. It's definitely going to be better than the Tatum 1. I had multiple players on our JV team that got these shoes without saying something to me before they got them, because I'd have never directed them to that sneaker, and the plate that was like kind of in this area snapped on every single one of their shoes. It just broke. Like, the plastic's cheap. The Jordan Tatum ones, I would not even say you could hoop in them. These, on the other hand, might be a little bit different. But first, getting into weight, I'm gonna say this weighs about 12 and a half, not too heavy. Yeah, 12.6, so almost right on. Yeah, weight isn't a big issue when it comes to this. Heel slip-in comfort, the padding was amazing. Now, I had no heel slippage. Heel lockdown was okay, or actually heel lockdown was great once I went all the way up to the top eyelet. I had heel slippage when it was down here. It's amazing what going up one eyelet can do. When it comes to heel slippage, I had zero heel slippage once I did that. So no issues with heel slippage. Heel lockdown's good. You just got to go all the way up. Lace them all the way up because they don't come like that. Now, down on the laces. Laces are flat laces. They're nice. They're going to get the job done. Laces don't affect performance, obviously. You guys already know that. But I like talking about laces because there's been a lot of different laces lately, like in 23 and 24. But these are just the normal flat laces. Now, down on the materials. I don't know if every Tatum is going to come with this type of material. Like, you guys can see that canvas style material throughout the sneaker, and it does make for a hot sneaker. So I'm not a big fan of like canvas style like materials. Now, the tongue is ported, so it does give off a little breathability. The tongue, by the way, it's decent. It's not really padded at all. It's just basic, conforms to foot well, doesn't cause any pain or rubbing or anything like that, so the tongue's solid. But back onto the materials. Materials are canvas on this. I hope they don't do that through the whole line, because I'm not a big fan of the canvas materials. However, canvas does last a while. This, you're not going to want to go cop for an outdoor sneaker because you're going to shit on them, and they're going to be dirty probably after one run. Also on the materials, they kind of have like this rubber all the way up around here for the support, so I like that. Support and lockdown work great. Over here on this side, you guys can see, actually it's on both sides, it's almost kind of feels like a tennis ball. It's like padded just a little bit more than a tennis ball. I mean, same color as a tennis ball, but yeah, it is padded. Doesn't do anything for performance or anything like that, but you guys can see this kind of comes up on the sidewall right here, this traction and stuff like that. I kind of like that. And on the back of it, it also has that same kind of padding like over here, but it's black. So as far as materials, I like the materials. I think they're going to hold up very well. These sneakers are going to hold up 100 times better than the Tatum ones. If you guys know, if you had them for your school season or college players, anybody that hooped in the Tatum ones and they hoop religiously, you are going to shit on them and you are going to break them. That's just what it is. That plastic piece that runs up through there, and somehow you're like lifted off the shoe, if that makes sense. If you guys look into the Tatum ones, you're kind of like lifted off the bed, which is weird. Even how they did the stroble in it, how it's stitched down the middle, like once you get under the insole, you can see the Tatum 1 is stitched down the middle of the sneaker. I'm not sure why they did that, but as far as materials, I like it when it comes to the Jason Tatum 2. Now, down on the cushioning. The cushioning is one of my favorite setups, but not yet. So they put a pretty thick insole in this, and I know that's crazy because everybody uses cheap insoles. They put a nice one in this. The only other time I have felt it in another sneaker is the Zion ones, and that's what this reminds me of. This is going to remind me, the cushion setup on this is going to remind me of the Zion ones. The only thing I don't really like is how this foam kind of comes down through here, and I think you're going to get a lot of wear and you're going to get a lot of rub on that. I already have some, and I haven't hooped in these that many times, but enough times to get a little bit of wear and a little bit of rub on there. But it has air stroble. It's not air zoom stroble, so it's a little bit more bouncy to me. Like, zoom stroble snaps back quicker. This is just like a nice cushion ride. You got bad knees, shin splints. You want to take a load off, this is definitely going to get the job done. Once you break it in, your foot will mold to this insole, like kind of like the Durant line, like in Kobe line, have the foam insole, but this is different. Like, my foot molded to the Zion insole, but I've also hooped in that for like a year, so I love the Zion. So this is kind of right there. If you've hooped in the Jordan Zion 1, the feeling of this with the air Strobel, definitely, it's definitely nice. It's definitely a nice ride. This foam in the back is stiff. I'm gonna say that's Phylon because how hard it is, and it was the same way with the Zion, but it's gotta be hard when you have that much air underneath you. Like the whole footbed is like the bubble wrap stuff that comes in the shoe, but it's got a lot more pressure, and there's like few less divots, but it feels great on foot. The air ride is awesome. I love the cushioning on the Tatum too. Now down on the traction did pick up quite a bit of dust. It wasn't top tier, it wasn't bad, but you do have to wipe quite frequently. And there's so many sneakers on the market that have top tier, the Curry line, you know, there's just so many that have great traction. I'm not sure this would just be my top pick if I'm going to hoop. I'd go with the serious players or the Way of Wades or the Kobe's, even the Jaws, maybe probably a little bit better than this because they don't pick up as much dust. Now, I don't know if it's just because this is translucent right here or what it was, but it definitely does pick up dust. So at the end of the day, what are my recommendations? I think this sneaker is built for anyone. Jason Tatum's a pretty good sized dude, 6'9", 6'10", small forward, power forward, guard, whatever you want to call Tatum. The sneaker's built for everyone. So yes, the only thing I disliked about the Tatum was probably going to be the breathability, and the traction isn't bad. It's just not top tier, but I like a breathable sneaker. Like I said, does have ports in the tongue, but it's not the most breathable. Does kind of have a wide base too. It's narrow on top, which I like because I don't like how the jaw, like look how much wider the jaw looks when you're looking down at it. It almost looks like a skate shoe, and that's one thing I didn't really care for when it came to the jaw, but I like the Tatum for the most part. Would I recommend it to you guys? Yes, I would. If you want top tier traction, might not be the best shoe, but you still get good traction. You're just gonna have to wipe a little bit more frequently. But as always, guys, I appreciate you locking in with me and tuning in to this episode of Sold Out. Peace.